Robert, thank you so much for bringing me to your favourite bar in County Mayo. And it's the Tavern in Murrisk. Murrisk, am I right?
Yeah, Mariska, I'd actually struggled to pronounce it myself, but yeah, no, it's around 10 minutes outside Westport as you go towards Crowpatrick.
Wow.
So it's we've been going down there for holidays really as for 22 years since my oldest daughter was born. So it'd be if you know a favourite, I'd have a lot of favourites in Dublin in town particularly.
Yeah.
And we mentioned before that actually one or two of them are gone. You know, Johnny Hughes and Johnny Nesbitt's. You know, we do a lot with customers, but yeah, like the tavern is it's pretty cool. It's pretty
It
cool.
looks cozy, man.
It's
It's got
very
a,
cozy. It's
it
very
looks
cozy.
it looks like the type of place now that chair and that coverings on that chair probably haven't been changed since De Valera's day. It's that
It's
type of spot, right?
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. It's the great outdoors. It's the great outdoors, you know, and
And for people who wouldn't be overly familiar with the geography of Ireland, Westport is pretty right out there, right out the west.
yeah, you could be sort of, you know, Crowpatrick, and then you know the next stop, America, as such now. So I'd say it's a great location. It's a great, like it's, you know, when you're during COVID, you would have had a lot of. I think I got old during COVID. I discovered walking. So you have the beaches, cycling, golf, and like great pubs. You
So
know,
would you have, the old walking up Crowpatrick
yeah.
footed as penance? Have you done the barefooted bit yet?
No, I've done it in runners. I haven't done it. I haven't done barefooted now, but no, just I said the west of Ireland would be. I said it's somewhere we mixed in. Obviously, we've had all the foreign holidays as well, but you know, with the west of Ireland, with now you know the paddleboard and kayak and just the great outdoors, and then just ending up in somewhere like the tavern in the evening now it's a great finish with a great pint of
Well,
Guinness.
I don't think you've got old. You've just become mature.
Yeah, I think so.
We'll leave it at that. So we're sitting there and the door opens and there's somebody there and he's famished or she's famished for a pint. Who would you love to walk into the tavern and have a pint with?
I'd dead or alive, like dead, somebody like Diego Maradona.
Okay.
Now we were in his company going back for 7-8 years ago. Now, when I say in his company, we were at a supplier gig in Rome, and we saw him in action. So I wouldn't say he'd be a great man for a pint from what he was drinking and what he was looking like that night. But I'd be very much an 80s child, and football would be the first love. So what he did in '86, you know, when so he'd be up there, alive, staying on that team. I'd be a big Liverpool fan, so Graham Souness probably would be.
Right.
He'd be somebody I'd love to have a pint with.
Yeah, you want to wear your shin guards? We were going for a few pints with Souness.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a problem. I'm a Liverpool supporter. It wouldn't be an issue. But
no, I remember watching again. It's a different sport now, of course, but back then I remember watching him. Souness was playing against, who was it? Robson. Robson and Souness had some great collisions in the middle. You could still hear them now, right?
Yeah, oh yeah, and Robson be another one for pints. Like Robson be obviously Brian Robson, Norman Whiteside, Paul McGrath.
Wasn't that an interesting move though? Do you remember that your man came in? Was it Ferguson? He didn't seem to have a problem with Robson's behavior, but the other two boys, he seemed to shift on fairly quickly. So I think there was we know you're drinking a lot, but I need you more than I like the boys.
Yeah. Well, Robson was there. Like, in fairness, Brian Robson was there at the start of the win and turning the corner. And I suppose when they won the first gig with him, Division 1 or Premiership, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'd say it would be Souness. I actually met him in Dublin Airport once, or I bought a cup of coffee beside him in Dublin Airport once. I wouldn't have had the nerve. I wouldn't have had a nerve to actually say hello or get a picture. But I know he'd be. Yeah, I think he's a man. I heard him talking one time, saying that when he was on RTE working with Dunphy and Giles, that you're allowed. You're curtailed, obviously, when you're on ITV, BBC, or Sky, because you can't defend the man. But whereas RTE, the handcuffs were off, so he'd be. He's a great hero. He'd be a great punter now. I tell you, how Man United could do with Graham Souness now.
Well, listen, you're having your day in Liverpool right now, but you know the way it works, it swings and roundabouts. So be nice to us that aren't supporting Liverpool for now. Otherwise, we'll get you back.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We'll be down at some stage.
So your phone, like all of us, we all use it way more than we need to and should do, I'm sure. But so it just got wiped of everything but 3 apps. What are the 3 apps that you live by?
Well, I'd say there's more than 3, unfortunately. So you'd nearly be looking for 2 phones with 3 in each now. But
no, you're not a millennial. There's no latitude on this. This is a straight up 3 apps, 1 phone.
Well, I'd be getting rid of the functionality. So get rid of the bank and all that kind of stuff that
you don't need that anyway.
Absolutely. So I'd have Strava, because as I said, that's a COVID thing. As I said, the cycling started in March 2020. So Strava, I need Strava on the.
Not familiar.
On the phone.
Tell me what it is. I'm not familiar at all with it.
Just calculating the mileage, speed, power, what you're doing on the bike, just so you have a indication of the work you're doing per month. So if you go for a cycle to Enniskerry, or you do your 40k, you just know what mileage you're doing. And again, I say probably tell you how many points you're allowed to have on that Friday night you've actually worked for it. So it's so Strava.
That's the competitor coming out in you. Do you measure yourself against your last Friday and against your last month? Is that definitely a competitor?
Gary, it's COVID again. Like I said, certainly you got into the personal discipline and not drinking during the week, and Friday and Saturday nights were king. So definitely get the mileage done. So Strava, I'd have to have.
Right, that's the first one.
The 42, which will be a sports Irish app, which I would religiously go on every day. Like, say, if you're following soccer, rugby, anything, I love, in particular, the rugby. I love the comments, because you have all the comments. You have all the various bigoted people, whether from Leinster, Munster, and I just, as I said, I get a lot of enjoyment from reading it. So. The 42, and Spotify, because I have music will be definitely a big love. So
do you play any instrument or anything?
No. Couldn't play, couldn't sing, couldn't read music.
You're going to go a long way.
Absolutely.
Wasn't that the Kit Kat ad?
That's it. So I'd always have Spotify on at home. So they're the 3 I'd have to keep.
Yeah,
but that's leaving a lot. That's a lot of apps deleted, though.
Yeah, but that's okay. But Spotify is extraordinary, isn't it? And I know that there's some challenges on the financial model, but what I love most about Spotify is that you pick up a song from the 80s, and it links you to the other stuff that you completely forgot.
Yeah. Well, I check, Gary. When the whole thing happened 2 years ago, the last night I was out in town with my wife, we were looking at pubs for my 50th, which was going to be in November that year.
Okay.
And you had the Queen film, the Elton John film. So I had a whole Live Aid team in my head, as in that was going to be the music for my 50th.
Brilliant.
And that was the last night we were in town, and then the whole thing locked down. But it's funny, coming out of COVID now, my musical taste will be totally different because of exactly what you'd say. Like, you know, you listen to the Jam, you listen to Paul Weller. Because you listen to Paul Weller, you're listening to Noel Gallagher. Because you listen to Noel Gallagher, you're listening to the Cortinas. So when I do have my belated 50th, it'd be a different playlist.
No, you're right. And it's similar to, we share an account in the family, whatever way it works. And I love tapping into the kids' playlists. And what you realize is that there's only 20 notes or something, is that every generation thinks they've invented music.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Every generation thinks they have. And yet it's a wonderful thing to listen and then to talk to them about, because what we both like is music.
Yes.
Now we just have to discuss whether that's better than that. And usually it depends on the age of the eyeballs that are or ears that are listening to it.
Well, we went to Tina Turner 3-4 years ago in London. Like, brought the two girls. It would have been 16 and 20 or whatever at the time, 16 and 19. But like, they had friends up in the house maybe 2 weeks later, and you know, we're in the other room, and you're listening to Tina Turner. Like, they're all listening to Tina Turner. So like, it's just showing some music is just ageless, like, or timeless.
You know, we have a similar thing with our two. We went to Stevie Wonder, and suddenly then for the next 3 months it was just Motown in the house.
Yes.
And look, what we say it all the time, even in business, don't we? You become what you see. Why wouldn't you become what you hear? And the main thing is, and to your point there, it's around us. You know, you throw a few guitars around the house, somebody's going to pick one up.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, it never worked with the piano we have inside, but definitely a guitar, I think, is a
Yeah, I'd love to be able to play, but anyway, that could be for the next time.
The next time round. Listen, Robert, it's been short, sharp. We haven't even got around to all the questions I could ask you. I love this pub. I think it's deadly. I'm going to wish you the best.
Yes.
Thank you for your time. It's been fun.
Yeah, no problem, Garry. No, I enjoyed it. Look forward to seeing you soon.